Hello, hello. We just had a major war arc, and then a bunch of prison breaks, and some scrap scenes of societal collapse. What, of course, are we waiting for after all of that? And it must be the best genre, family drama. I love family dramas. I love family dramas. To me, the ideal plot structure is a family and then something bad happens. And we see the family a bit before, we see that something bad happens, and then the rest of the story is just ruminating and trying to get through and trying to reconnect through all of that misery and conflict and stuff. I don't know. I sound like a sociopath saying this, but it's because it's so human, it's so universal, it's so deep to get into the strains between family. So, what the heck is going on here? Endeavor. Ooh, the deer scare. You can just imagine the aesthetic of this scene if it was animated or in a live action movie or something. It's such a traditional type of scene. A daughter being married away to a suitor that the family approves of, but perhaps she personally doesn't. And hearing the deer scare, hearing perhaps an evening cicada mournfully crying at the end of its life. We never dreamed of the great endeavor. The man many say will be the next number one would reach out to us. Well, fortunate, what an absolute honor. The Himura family was also once considered prestigious with a long and storied history, so it's only fitting that a top hero such as yourself would take a Himura woman as your bride. So this is the origins of the hellish family, the Todoroki family. It was a quirk marriage from the start, but she said she'd do it for her family's sake. Strong, but prone to melting away at the slightest touch. She was a lot like ice. I see. These ideas are connected. I like these shots of Japanese gardens and stuff too, of an aristocratic rich property that they're touring around on there. It's I don't know. I have certain reservations about class, of course, but I am a sucker for a well-maintained garden. And now, so much later, we know that there was a huge gap in between where she was hospitalized, where she was completely out of touch with most of her family. Todoroki just barely kind of reconnecting throughout the series. And here she storms in. A full blizzard of ice. Are you really okay? Okay? No, I'm not. That's why I'm here. And this is called The Wrong Way to Put Out a Fire. Which would be... All of this could just be a normal family drama if it wasn't for the idea of a quirk marriage being introduced. This sounds like a good title for a family drama film. Okay. Now we cut suddenly to Dabi, whom we haven't seen at all since the war. He's out in their woodlands hideout again, which I thought was a lot more ruined than it looks here. I thought they'd torn it to shreds basically during that war, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just the one wall got blown out, and it looks like the interior is in pretty rough shape. Dear old dad ain't gonna die. He's tougher than that. If he wants to say adios to the world, his position won't allow it. Okay. Can't wait to see this pathetic mug. Been waiting so damn long for this. Take a real good look at me in the depths of hell. And this is a cool transition here. All of the paneling, I think, in this shot is really cool. Like his outstretched hand reaching outside of the panel. The split between him thinking about the state of his father and then considering the public statement that he's going to have to make, just showing this kind of progression of mind as he casually mulls through all these ideas. And then this paneling here is pretty good. The zoom in on his face, and then this is the one that really gets me, the blood dripping from his eye, dripping down into the next panel at the start of the flashback. This being the introduction of violence into the family unit. Yup. So here is Dabi as a kid with his fire shirt. demanding training from his father. I said it's for your own good. Son has inherited an even more powerful form of the fire-based quirk factor, but he takes after his mother physically. He's not built to endure fire, but rather to withstand freezing temperatures. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this was the permutation Dabi got. Attempting to create custom children is a taboo in our quirk-based society, so I can't advise it. You can surpass All Might, Toya. So this is kind of interesting because we've seen so much character growth from Endeavor that I think it's kind of tempting when people write that sort of story, like a redemption story, a story of somebody kind of learning to own up to their mistakes and reconnect with the people they've wronged. There's a temptation to be like, oh, and it actually kind of turns out he was always good. He was always a good person. And that you reevaluate his motivations, and they're a lot more sympathetic than you thought. But here they're swerving away from that in a way that's interesting to me, that when we see this flashback Endeavor, even though we've seen a much more kind and considerate Endeavor in present time, the flashback Endeavor just seems like a huge asshole. Right? Am I wrong? Look at him. Look at his face. Look at how mad he gets when he sees All Might save 62 different towns and cities. He's like, fuck that guy. What is wrong with him? Got a little burn, but so what? I can take it. I know my own body better than anyone. Here's the daughter. God in my head, I gotta surpass the other guy. Dad's the one who lit that fire under me. Very directly articulate children. I kind of like my family dramas to have the first 40 or 50 scenes not have anyone state their problems or their motivations, but instead just get kind of vaguely mad at each other. But this is a shonen series. I have to remind myself this is a battle shonen series about superheroes and not a family drama written by Ozu. Too much is too cruel. You know, the Toya knows what you're hoping to achieve through the children. Okay. So here he's being a little sympathetic, I guess. He's like, I don't want Toya to hurt himself. And he knows that it's his stubbornness. It's the fact that he lit that fire. It's the same stubbornness he recognizes within himself. But he's basically like, oh, but if I thought he would surpass All Might, if I thought he had potential, then I would let him go nuts. Of course I would let him go nuts. It's only because he's not going to achieve what I want him to that we think we rein him in. They have another kid. Toya seems devastated. Some good shots here. I really like this recontextualization of All Might, too. That we get another glimpse of, like, All Might in his prime. Just what he represented to the world, and we see it from such a uniquely mad perspective, from the perspective of maybe the one person in the world that gets pissed off when he sees All Might rescuing people. Well, besides like villains and stuff, I guess. But again, it's a very telling perspective, one that really enlivens the legend of All Might even further. And then here's the final baby. Todoroki, his signature split hair, looking like Sia. and this, I guess, is the final straw that Toya starts heading out into the mountains to train on his own. I can do it. I can surpass him. See, look how strong my flames are already. Look at me. Okay. There's a whole other world besides the hero stuff. I know you understand that. Take my advice on this will be a distant memory soon. There's some pretty good shots here. I really like the shot from All Might's perspective with his hands coming out. It really just shows like the smallness of Toya in this case. I can't understand that. And again, like All Might is not handling this well, I think. There's definitely many middle grounds between like you're just going to be a failure forever, do something else, and yeah, sure, go nuts, burn yourself to cinders. But it is a little more human than I expected. I think they are to some extent trying to do kind of the trick I said before, where you go back and not just show progression in the present, but retroactively make them less distasteful in the past, which is, as I said, it's very common for stories to be like that. It's just, I don't know, it's just doesn't sit well with me. Why not go full in? Why not say, yes, Endeavor was a horrible, horrible father, and now look at how much he's improved. Now it's kind of a little more muddied, that it's like, oh, yeah. Well, let's see what he does here in response to this. Let this fire in me, Dad, and it's not going out. I can't just pretend it's not there. Look at me. Look at me. Ooh. So this is something we didn't know about. This is something that I don't think was really even hinted at. That there was a time that Toya attacked the rest of his family. See, all of this... Okay, let's reframe this quick as an exercise, because I think it could be pretty good. Have a father who is martial artist. No, it's too easy. A detective. Something... Well, it doesn't... No, let's just say he's like a really well-respected... It's a very well-respected artisan, let's say. And his son wants to live up to his father's reputation in town, starts practicing right away, but is always hurting himself, always injuring himself, trying to use the tools. The father at first is like disappointed, your failure, starts to shift his attention on his younger son. You will be the one to surpass me. Maybe there even is a component of your mother also comes from this famous flower arrangement family. I don't know. And then the older son at some point has become so obsessed with carrying on the craft, so frustrated by the fact that he can't be as articulate, doesn't have the skill to do it for whatever reason. His practice is amounting to nothing, just self-injury. His father finally has this breaking point of like, just quit. There's so much more you can do in life. It's breaking my heart to see you do this. And then the son lashes out and attacks the other child, the favorite child. See, this is a good movie. That would be a good movie. This is so close to that, but they're all on fire. I don't know. Okay, let's see how this family drama continues. In I believe the latest chapter. I think we'll be caught up. I'm probably going to release these day by day, so we'll get caught up tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye bye for now.